Hey everybody, it's Justin here. Just finished up week 8 of 52 Kinds of Love, and I'm going to tell you how the week went. So, week 8 was dedicated to Maria, and there's a little pig on there. I met Maria at a pig roast. It was actually an interesting experience that a friend who I had just met invited me to this pig roast that they have as almost like a family tradition for years and years, and with hardly even knowing him, he's like, "Hey, I think you should come out to this. I think you'd fit in with everybody." And I was like, alright, I guess we're becoming best friends. And while I was there, my buddy Matt said to Maria, "Oh, you guys are both teachers. You guys should start chatting." And ended up that we actually made this poetry connection. And was wearing my Poetries shirt here, little poems all built in there. And Maria and I had this awesome, deep, almost like a spiritual connection just that day, and I was sharing poems that I read and I was performing them, and even in the moment she's like, whoa, stop, what was that line again? And she wrote the line. She went to her kitchen and she wrote down this line on a chalkboard, and I think it's been about 2 years now since that happened, and she still has that line written on her chalkboard in her kitchen, which is pretty phenomenal that my words could make a difference or make a connection like that. So I was blessed to meet Maria and to have this connection. So this week we talked a lot about poetry. We talked a lot about teaching. We shared some stories. So on Monday I called her up and we chatted on the phone. I sent an old poetry video to her that one of my friends made for me a long time ago when I had long hair in college.
I'm no substance, I'm a mess. I'm a mess, I'm a mess, I'm a mess. Can I be your mess? There's thunder in my chest.
And then on Tuesday I emailed her, messaged her a teaching poem that I had written and thought that she could kind of, get something out of that. And then I called her up later and we had an hour-long conversation telling stories of, poetry and writing connections and people who've made a difference to us, and weird interactions that have lasted for a long time. And it's just cool to see how the tangled web of interaction that we have with people and what kind of stuff that we connect to. It's pretty phenomenal. And a little bit later in the week I called her up and we shared some rough teaching stories. I kind of had a rough week myself and told one of my stories, and Maria told this crazy story about, I don't know, pretty much the most ridiculous day you could ever imagine as a teacher, which is pretty hilarious, and it just kind of made me feel in a better mood. She actually just gave me some confidence too for some things that I had to do during this rough week. So it was just great connecting with her, even though it was all on the phone. I think we have this appreciation for one another, of what we do for each other, for our souls, and how we keep each other reinvigorated through little messages and things like that. So, even though it was all over the phone, it was really cool. It kind of strengthened that bond, and hopefully that's something that we can build on in the future too. One of the things I'm going to be doing for Maria is I'm going to be mailing her a book of every single poem that I wrote in 2013. I don't know how many are in there. It's probably like 150 poems or something like that. But I wanted her to take a deeper look into how I think, and I wanted to share some more of myself to her, just so we could open up that friendship that we've been starting. So yeah, it was definitely a cool week, and it really got me thinking as to how can you connect to people better even though you are far away. And a phone call really did make a big difference, for 4 days out of this week. So yeah, that was pretty sweet. As we head into the next week, I will dedicate week number 9 to Shannon. So tune in next week to see who Shannon is, why there's a tennis ball on there, and how the week goes. Alright? Bye. Peace. 52 Kinds of Love.